Hey, yeah, we have some bonus video today. This is something I was working on last week and thought we needed to, cover it a little bit and just show you what happened. First off, we had a hurricane a couple of weeks ago, and this particular amplifier was in a fellow's house that was down by the beaches towards Galveston. So the seawater surge came in, and of course this thing went under the water, which is basically it's ruined salt water. So he was going to throw it out and put it out with the garbage, and so I asked him about it. He says, if you want it, you can have it. He says it won't work. It doesn't power up anymore. It's not working. It's a done deal. And I like to rescue stuff sometimes if I can. And I kind of looked at this one and thought, well, it's an old Fender amp, not a bad little one. So yeah, let's give it a shot and see what we can do, because it's free at that point. So the worst thing I can do is put it in my trash can and have it hauled off. But I really did not want to see this go to the dump. Even if the amplifier didn't work, I was trying to figure out, is there some way we can reuse the Fender cabinet? It doesn't look that bad. I did have to wipe, basically, I guess we'll call it seaweed, off of the cabinet, clean it down and try to get the salt away from it. I've managed to get the electronics back up and running, so that was good. But there was one thing that it still mystifies me a little bit, because I haven't seen saltwater damage before, but on something like this. So the speaker, I'll just see if I can hold that up for you a little bit, and you can see the paper itself came apart and basically ripped and shredded. It almost looks like, I said, like last week, I said it looks like somebody kicked it, but this would be obviously banged up if it was kicked. So it was like, no, it wasn't kicked in necessarily, but the speaker paper is still a little dampish, and it's all tore up to bits. And I thought about trying to, glue it all back together or something, and was like, you know what, at the end of the day, it might be just easier just take this out and just replace that part. So I set that aside, and so first thing we got to do is we've got to see if we can get the electronics to this thing working, because really this is where the damage is. And actually I'll unplug it and show you what we did, but here it is here. And really, if you look inside a Fender amp, or most any amp, you'll get a bit of a surprise. There isn't a whole lot in there. This is obviously, this takes up a lot more space than the rest of it. Because all you have here, this is basically a power supply for the system. And this is your amplifier system here with, of course, all your controls. And when I powered it up just for a second to see what was going on, it looked like little tiny stars just sparkling all over the map, all over here, all over here. Salt water. Salt water shorts out electricity. Not a good thing. Now, unfortunately, there is no secretive chemical situation that you could use to protect electronics but get salt away from them or something. There's only one thing that I know of, and it is the only thing that works the very best on salt water, or salt, just salt in general. Hot water does the best of anything to wash out and take, the dilute salt away from stuff. So yeah, I had to wash this entire board down with steamy hot water, this board, and the other thing I used was a toothbrush. Yeah, anyway, so I used the $1.98 toothbrush, whatever, and I went over all the boards with the hot water and a toothbrush and just scrubbed the boards back and forth, and then left this in front of a fan to dry for about 24 hours to get all the moisture, the water. Now I got to get the water out of it, but I washed the salt away. So there she be. And testing here the other day, she powered up for the first time and actually worked. So the next thing we got to do is get another speaker in here. So I guess that's the first thing in this agenda, is to get the speaker back in or get a new speaker. So I ordered a new speaker. I bought one of the cheapest ones from Amazon. I did not want to put a lot of money in this project. There was no money in it to begin with, so I don't want to spend a lot. But I looked over the speaker situation, and I picked out a small 12-inch. Let's see if I can find it. Just showed up here from Amazon yesterday. It's a pretty robust looking job. 12-inch, got a nice foam pad here. And it's rated up to 250 watts, so should be fine for this thing. And it's 8 ohm. That's the other thing you got to know, whether it's a 4 ohm or 8 ohm speaker system. This is an 8 ohm. That's what was in it. Was apparently Fender shows that it is an 8 ohm speaker. So we went with that. Now this is a Goldwood sound. Never heard of them. Don't care. But I will have to scrape the paper away a little bit. Some of the gasket paper stayed in here, so I'm going to take a scraper and just get that out of there, and then I'm going to mount the speaker back up. So when we come back, yeah. Okay, paper away. So I guess we can, yep, we can put the speaker. We can now mount it. Now there's one other thing, and yeah, the Fender's screws are pretty nice, but these are saltwater damaged screws. Yeah. But I'm going to try to reuse just the way they are, because they'll be fine. Over time, I don't think the salt's going to do any real big deal with it. And we've got holes here to punch through to get through to the system. So now the only other thing too I got to watch is there's no wiring. The Fender did not exactly, you know, break the bank on wiring. So I need to get to these tabs, and I'll just show you the situation here. Yeah, there's your amp sitting above, and there's all the wire they gave you. So you don't have a whole lot of wire to play with. So, and this one is actually going to have to be changed. It's a small, undersized clip. So I'm going to have to put the bigger stake-on type connector on here to get to the same size as this, because this speaker doesn't come with the same size as what Fender came with, of course. Well, I mean, why would we do it? This is a 20-ounce magnet, by the way, too, which is cool, because I think the Fender one is a 20-ounce too. So it's actually a pretty decent match. So what I'm concerned with is where that wire comes down to where we're going to connect to this. So we sort of have to be kind of like this idea, off to one side a little bit. And hopefully the holes will allow me, and I'll just put one of the, see if I can find one of these screws here. There's some melted red plastic. I have no idea where that would have come from. Through these holes. And just see if we can't get that to screw back in like that, I guess. Yeah, I think that's going to be the ticket. Go grab a screwdriver and see if we can make this work. Okay, I put the speaker in. As you can see, it's kind of like on a, you might think it's on an angle or something. The wires from the amplifier come down right about here, so I want to be as close to these two tabs as I can. In fact, I'm even going to back these tabs out, or just bend them out a little bit further to make them easier to get the clips on. And now the other thing I got to do, which I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to cut this off, strip it, and reconnect it, because it's obviously it's the wrong size for that particular speaker. So yeah, so the other thing I got to be concerned with, of course, is going to be polarity, but we'll get back to that in a minute, because these are marked positive terminal, negative terminal, and you really should, believe it or not, yeah, you should actually pay attention to that. So we're going to lose that. So I have no other way to make it work. And now I'm going to see if I can't just strip a new piece of wire off of that. And there we go. Yeah, they didn't exactly break the bank on this silver coated copper wiring, I guess. And there's our new connector. Little stake-on job. Industrial, you know, number 14. Yeah. And we'll crush it all the way. So check this. Now, the other problem I'm going to have is, because these are sort of industrial type connectors, I'm going to have to tighten them up a little bit. So I'm going to just sort of crush this down just ever so slightly, so that she will get a real good bite on that speaker connection. So now I think we'll just go ahead and we will install the amplifier into the cabinet, put it back in. I think we're ready for that part. There's 2 screws at the front here that are through the top of the cabinet, and there are 2 screws at the back here that just go into the wood. They're just wood screws is all they are. So really, when you put this in, what you really want to watch for is that back right there like that, and then just throw your wood screws on, because really that sort of tells you everything about where this thing has to be. And yep, are we having a problem? No. So we'll just go ahead and start those up a little bit. Again, they're a little saltwater damaged, but yeah. Yeah, the paint on these things didn't like the salt water apparently. And we'll put the screws back in top. See if hopefully we can get on those without too much. Yep, that's what I thought. We're gonna have to figure out. Yep. Okay, we're gonna have a problem there. I just knew it. Well, let's see what we can do. Yeah, hopefully we can get these started. Ah, yeah, there we go, baby. Yeah. And not too tight. Somebody had this, I don't know when that was originally made, but the screws were virtually crushing the top of the cabinet on one side here. Again, I'm going to lift a little bit to try to get that lined up, and there you go. So now our amp is back in place, so the only thing left to do is connect this. And I'm just going to check the connection on it to make sure, like I said, as I got polarity is correct with the old speaker, because I like to, you know, what's that, OCD? Yeah. Okay, so the positive is the big old fat one. All right. So that's all we got to remember from here. So the positive is the big old fat one, and there's the positive there, and yep, shove it on. The negative is now on the new one, which is going to be a little tight. Oh, I may have tightened that over too much. Wow, wait. Yeah, it's got a nice tight bite now. There we go. Yeah. And so now we've got the next part of the fun. Yeah. Plug it in, go find a guitar and a cord and stuff, and see what we have. And hopefully everything still works. I now have, oh, before I forget too, I'll provide a link in the description below where we found the speaker at Amazon in case you decide you need to replace yours. But okay, power lights on. This thing selected for reverb. I've got the guitar plugged into it, but I'm in the guitar cord, so we know it's working. I'll go get the guitar and we'll do something, but we'll try not to get yeah, copyright infringement or something going on. So I'll be back. I just realized today I don't have a strap for electric guitar around that's kind of crazy for me, but yeah, I don't seem to even have one, but we're going to try to stay out of the limelight of things, so we'll just do something simple. Well, there was a good there was a good half hour of rock and roll there, but I'm worried about YouTube and getting copyright strike for, you know, the music. So we'll just say that yes, it's working great. It's actually surprisingly, I've been running it for about almost an hour playing with it, and it's actually warm up top here. So there's quite a bit of heat that's baking off of that amplifier. So I guess as she breaks back in from her terrible saltwater bath, you know, she's doing better. Thank you for watching Coffee and Tools. Please like, share, subscribe, ring the notice bell, and we'll be moving on to some other topics that are more tool related. But this was just something I thought I got to share this with you guys. Okay, over and out.